Matter can neither be created nor destroyed. But Thomas DeLauer created a matter, and I'm here to destroy it. Thomas DeLauer made a video about the sugar diet. He said a lot of great things. Thomas DeLauer has said a lot of great things over the decade. Last decade, he's been tearing it up. He's got an amazing YouTube channel. He's an amazing guy, an amazing friend, and he's spitting out amazing information. And I think that he's worth a follow because he does bring a lot of science and a lot of practicality, a lot of his own anecdotes to the situations that he's talking about on his channel. However, I'm here to tell you that he doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to the sugar diet. Thomas made claims that he doesn't think it's going to work for the people that are insulin resistant or the people that are fat. And I am here to tell you today, there is no better diet in the history of histories or in the history of this planet or anywhere else than the sugar diet for fat people. First of all, you're giving people a taste of something sweet, which is amazing. So that might be able to help some people with binging. Maybe at first, maybe they're going to overdo it a little bit. Maybe they're going to overconsume. But even though it's called the sugar diet, this is a low fat, extremely low fat. Sink those fats below 30 under 30 grams is my advice for almost everybody. If you want to start a little bit more reserved than that, to start with 50. But I think it's a low fat diet that's high carbohydrate and whole foods based. You want to eat a lot of fruit. You want to eat a lot of vegetables. Fruit, vegetables, and keep the fat really low. In your effort to keep the fat really low, you're going to find that it's going to be more difficult to keep the protein high. So, out of convenience, and also in an effort to comply to some speculation that the diet is enhanced and that there is some good evidence for this, that protein can sometimes mess with your insulin sensitivity. So that is what this diet is going after. And that might be something that some people are missing. Thomas isn't missing it because he's extremely intelligent and he knows a lot of great information. For myself, I'm not trying to bank on this FGF21 thing to be some sort of superhero compound that gets elicited when you don't eat fat and protein and it's going to like save the day and just make everything better for you. I don't like thinking about things like that because I'm more into smelly science than I am into real science. I'm more into doing things and then figuring them out as you go. I do think that looking at some evidence-based stuff is just smart. It's just a good idea. Like, I'm not going to shit on either way. However, why not just utilize some of both, right? In our efforts to try to get better, why not just... So we see a lot of anecdote that people are getting better. I was just watching a video of a guy. He said he lost 80 pounds. That's like the third or fourth video in the last couple days of people that didn't even know what the diet was called because they were experimenting because Cole hadn't quite coined it yet. Cole Robinson, snake diet. Make sure you follow him. Make sure you follow Durian Ryder as well. Hat goes off to him because he's been talking about very low carb, very, very high carbohydrate for many, many years. But the way I'm starting to look at this now is if you go, I just got done training, so my shoulders are fried. Hard to hold the camera up. If you want to lose weight and you want to do so rapidly, which is not always the best bet, but if you want to do so rapidly and you're able to comply, then no fat, no protein, and no starch. No fat, no protein, no starch. That leaves you with fruit. And don't forget, I'm saying vegetables. A lot of people don't hear it when I say vegetables. But so I would like Thomas DeLauer to tell me how or why that fruit and vegetables is going to be a bad diet for anybody. Short, fat, white, black, or any other color or ethnicity or sex. That should be rocking and rolling for everybody. When you see somebody that's fat, 300 pounds, 400 pounds, or even just somebody with excess body fat, a good old chunk, a good old love handle, or you just even look down at your own gut, that is an abundance of energy on your body. That fat, there's probably like a 95% chance that fat came from fat, from extra fat. I was walking behind this guy the other day at the grocery store, and he actually was very thin. And he was in a suit and he looked great. I was like, fucking kudos to this guy. Looked like he was a little older than me, but looked awesome. And I was like, you know what? The difference between that guy and a lot of the other people that are in the supermarket right now, he probably ate a lot less fat than them. Now, okay, there's activity, there's environment, and so on. I don't know what any of the studies show to show that, but it seems like some common sense. Obviously, the heavier person ate more calories too. And everybody wants to know about calories on this diet. But if there's ever been a diet to not really worry about your calories, it's this one. Because we're knocking out 2 macronutrients. Most of the time, people are only knocking out 1. Right? People are just knocking out. They're like, okay, I'm not going to eat any fat. And then they're stuck on this like bodybuilding diet. And those diets suck. They work if a bodybuilder can follow them. But even bodybuilders can barely follow them. Bodybuilders will still, they'll be on 1,600 calories, taking a ton of PEDs, and they'll be doing cardio for 60 to 90 minutes a day. It's unbelievable. This caloric restriction is unbelievable. Whereas a bodybuilder hasn't really tried it yet, but I'm working on this and seeing where I can get to. I probably won't look like any of the really high level bodybuilders, but my body fat percentage might rival theirs. And I'm sure as shit that I'll be leaner than all of them when they're in their off season, because I've been staying pretty lean as of late. My goal is to get down to just, 5 to 7% and just ride dirty there and stay there. And if I can do it, it's not necessarily not really proof of anything, right? But there is a lot of proof out there that this diet is working. And all you got to do is look at the comments. Look at how many people I saw Sugar Punch. Follow Sugar Punch on YouTube. Sugar Punch, he's just getting started with this thing. But he's short and he's fat. And Sugar Punch is working on it. So he's about 10 pounds into it, and he's like filming his whole journey. But a lot of people are reporting that they've done this diet for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and they're losing incredible amounts of weight. Additionally, this style or some version of this diet has been around for a long time. It's just not talked about that much, and it's stuck in the veganism bubble. So I'm not a vegan. Cole's not a vegan. Durian Rider is a vegan. We have some differences on a couple things, but none of that shit really matters too much. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get people success on that scale. For myself, I was stuck in the 220s for a while. Before that, I was stuck in the 240s. And from 240 to 220, it's been a kind of a slugfest. And it's been challenging. But now, from 220 to where I'm at now, sorry, it's a little windy out here, so I'll probably shut the video down here in a second so it doesn't annoy you too much. It's always super windy out here and where I live. Getting to 210 has been pretty easy. And I've been around this lean before when I stepped on stage when I was doing bodybuilding. I also was bigger. And I know people have a lot of questions about muscle. I feel more jacked than ever. I feel incredible. I feel jacked. I feel strong. I feel explosive. I'm lifting and training to some capacity every day. And I also want to mention that I haven't even been able to run. I got something going on with my foot / ankle / heel / plantar fasciitis / whatever. And that little sucker's hurt like a bitch. And so I'm just taking time off, taking my own advice. Something hurts, just don't do it. And so I haven't run at all in 2 to 3 months. I don't remember the exact date where I stopped running, but it's been a while. So that's a testament to this diet too. I'm not saying my activity completely fell off, because here I am, 10-minute walk in it. People ask about these shoes all the time. They're called Grounds with a Z, Grounds with a Z, and they are they're grounding shoes. They got a little copper thingy in them. They're awesome. I really like them a lot. Anyway, back to the matter at hand here. This diet works. It's epic. I haven't been able to run, but I've been able to still drop some weight. And I'm excited when I get back to running, because when I get back to running, by that time, I'll probably weigh 200. The sugar diet is here to stay. It's also a diet that can be leveraged. It doesn't have to be followed every single day. I mentioned earlier, no fat, no protein, no starch. Well, I'll string together some days in a row with that just to see what it's like. But intermittently, throw in a potato with dinner. Intermittently, throw in some lean meat with dinner. And then once you are lean, or once you are to like some desired body weight, then start to just sprinkle in the sugar diet. And remember, the sugar diet does have some freedom to have some bread and some cereal and pasta. But look, man, that's not the diet, okay? I share that as, look, man, you can have this stuff, okay? But it could be a slippery slope, especially for some of you. You're going to put butter on the bread and shit like that, right? I put water and salt on mine, and it's awesome. I love it. Sounds like a crazy diet person thing, but I sprinkle a little bit of water on there so the salt sticks, and bam. It is amazing. I get sourdough bread, Essentials, I think it's called. It has got like 4 ingredients. I think they sell it at Costco. I got it off the internet because I don't go to Costco because I think it's a giant waste of time. Another thing for another time. But I see a lot of people driving 30, 45 minutes to a Costco to like save on this and save on that. And I think it's a waste. But anyway, we're all different. Do your thing your way. Don't overcomplicate any of this. Don't be like, oh, but a banana has a little bit more starch. Or what about dates? Just eat the shit out of fruit. How many times a day do you eat on this diet? I would say, look, when you first start this diet for like a week or so, just do the diet. Don't really worry a ton about rules and restrictions. Once you get your footing after a week and a half, you're reading food labels, you learn what you can eat, you're having the sorbet and you're doing the Smelly Bell thing, scallops and stuff for protein, certified Piedmontese steaks for protein, chicken breast. If it's not as lean as chicken breast, don't buy it. When you're first starting out, just stay lean, or don't eat any protein at all for the day. So people have questions about how many times a day you're eating. Just eat like 3 to 5 times a day in the beginning. Who really cares? I wouldn't even really count. It's not even worth mentioning a number. Once you get rolling with it, it'd probably be better. You'd probably be best off sticking with like 2 main meals and some sort of maybe post-workout, food or something like that, Pre-workout, have a sugar bomb, as Cole likes to say. 300, 500, 1,000 calories. For myself, it's around 1,000 calories before I work out. Sometimes I split that up. Sometimes it's 500 before, 500 after. Just depends on how I feel. I started drinking a smoothie this morning. Didn't feel like downing the whole thing. Downed about half of it. Ate a couple dates. Ate some Sour Patch Kids. Some Starburst jelly beans. And popped over to the gym and just had a great workout. Absolutely great workout. Demolished it. Another reason to not restrict. Don't restrict your calories. I think what happens on this diet is your calories are naturally restricted via your metabolism getting cranked up. So let's just say hypothetically that your body's been kind of stalling out because you've been keto, carnivore, whatever. This is just speculation, by the way. And let's say that you typically burn like, 1,800 calories a day. And you're the same weight forever on the carnivore diet. No matter what you do, you're just not going anywhere. I've been there. I've coached people that have gotten stuck with me before. And I want to say that those diets have worked great for me. So I'm not saying that all of a sudden out of nowhere those diets are shit. So I think that's also where some people are getting lost. Thomas DeLauer did not claim that. He didn't claim that I was doing that. He didn't claim I was saying that. But what he did say is he doesn't think I'm going to be on this diet for very long. Like it's not a long-term play. And I agree with him to some extent because I will move into utilizing like some carb cycling at some point, and protein cycling and fat cycling, like just macro cycling, I guess you call it. And when I move into like macro cycling, but I'm still going to be using the sugar diet. That's the thing, is this diet can be a reset. This diet can be used and utilized in that way. I want to address losing muscle mass. So it depends on how far down the rabbit hole you want to go. You don't need nearly the amount of protein that you think to hold on to your muscle mass. It's been reported and analyzed thoroughly, and Stan Efferding mentioned this on a Mark Smelly Bell video that we shot recently because I'm doing Super Friends with all my smartest friends talking about the sugar diet. not to help validate it, but to poke holes in it and potentially validate it. So you're going to see a lot of stuff with me talking about the sugar diet, with Andy Triana, with Thomas DeLauer himself. We'll get into a debate. I shot a video with Doreen Ryder, and we're gonna ride this bitch out. We're gonna get some answers. We're gonna figure this thing out. But Efforting said around 0.5 times your body weight in pounds is what's been found. However, it's not just 0.5 times your body weight. So if you weigh 300, it's not just 150 grams of protein. It's of your lean body mass, or at least potentially in that neighborhood. I weigh around 200 pounds, and so I'm choosing to have 100 grams of protein a day. There's been some days where I've had 60. There's been some days where I've had 110. There's been some days where I have 120. Now, yes, I'm enhanced, but this diet is not for people that are just enhanced. This diet is working for everybody. Dude, go and check out the comments. Look at Cole Robinson's channel. Check out some other people's channels. Just type it in. Type in sugar diet. Start watching a couple videos. Watch how many more pop up. There's no... I guess it's fun to have influence and to be influential, but I'm not so hard up for attention and influence that I'm gonna like be chugging this diet, throwing this diet at you. It's working for me. I have never been like able to sustain this level of leanness like this. I know you guys probably think it's all the same because maybe you're like, oh, he's been in good shape for a while. I have been. And I'm not saying the carnivore diet's not sustainable or the keto diet's not sustainable. I enjoyed that. I enjoy the keto bricks. I enjoy the extra fat. I enjoy ribeyes. I enjoy a lot of that. And I did mention already, it works. And it worked. It helped me to lose over 100 pounds. However, I was unaware of this diet and unaware of this plan. This plan seems different. It seems like another option. And if you think it's dumb or stupid or whatever, that's fine. But you know what? Everyone's going to be doing it. Thomas DeLauer is going to be doing it. You're going to start to see everyone is going to be lining up to do this diet because it's too loud. Kind of the same thing happened with the carnivore diet. People are like, that makes some sense. Let me give that a shot. And I think some of the principles of the carnivore diet do make sense. But we have to admit, it seems like there's something going on with some insulin resistance, some potential cardiac issues when we are full throttle with the protein and the fat. And I've known about the fat for years, and I've been talking about it for years, but I don't think anybody was listening to me. And the reason why no one was listening to me was for good reason, because I didn't have an alternative. It's hard to take something away from people without an alternative solution. So if I said, look, man, you really have to stop those Zins. I got to give you another option. I got to give you, hey, there's this other Zin thing. It's more pure. It's more natural. I know you like these things, right? And it's another option. That's what people need. People need another option. With this diet, you're allowed to have at it. Like, seriously, I know Cole is saying like 2 meals, sometimes 3 meals for some people, but don't let that slow you down at all. He just wants you to be hungry when it's time to eat, so you have a good, bulked up, nutritious meal. And that when it's time to get it, you get it. That's what he's looking for. He wants good, strong hunger signals happening for you. He wants you to be like burning fat. That hunger sometimes is you being in fat burning mode. And so don't allow some of the information to slow you down to say, oh, I'm not supposed to eat an apple right now. If you're hungry and you're fat, eat the apple. Eat the apple, eat the salad, literally stuff yourself so you don't have an excuse. Drink a ton of juice. Take a bunch of juice. I've been mixing apple juice, orange juice, and sugar together. It's delightful. It's amazing. Yes, it's too sweet. I drink it. I'm like, oh my God. It's like you start getting sugar adverse, but that's not a bad thing. That can be a good thing a little bit because then you're like, I've had enough. Your taste buds will tell you. Don't allow your taste buds or your hunger. Don't neglect them. Don't neglect them. Feed them. For now, feed them. And then over time, you'll start to gain some control over them and you'll have a little bit better idea on exactly what to do. Back to the topic of, are you going to lose muscle mass? Half your body weight, but it's not just half your body weight, it's basically half your lean mass. Now you can titrate up from there a little bit. You can go a little higher than that. You don't have to be, you don't have to have 70 grams of protein a day, but some of the people that have used this diet therapeutically for people to help them lose a lot of weight. Remember, if you lose weight, you're going to help your insulin resistance. And there's studies, there's evidence that Stan Efferding talked about on the Mark Smelly Bell channel, interview coming up soon, where he said it doesn't matter how you lost the weight. It's awesome. That's some really great news, because it doesn't matter what diet you chose. If you're losing weight and you're on the carnivore diet, you are positively impacting your insulin resistance still. But if you've been stalled and you've been stuck there for a while, and you've still been consuming high amounts of fat and protein, maybe that's where we start to run into some issues. I know that for my own blood work, my glucose would be at like 90. My fasted glucose would be at like 80 and 90. We were always trying to get it down, but I didn't really realize that the way to get it down is sugar. I've mentioned this many times before too. And there's a lot of research on this. People that eat carbs continuously throughout the day, and that just have, kind of normal metabolism, versus other people that have a normal metabolism that don't eat any carbohydrates. The people that eat carbohydrates, usually their blood sugar is lower than that of the low carb person. The body wants to run off of glucose so badly that it commonly kicks you out of ketosis. Every opportunity that it gets, it says, no, we're not doing this diet. And the only way that someone's in ketosis is to really be loading up on fats. You have to have a minimum of 1 gram of fat per gram of protein, which kind of means you're eating things that are similar to like bacon and cheese. And all those things are delicious. Eggs are 1-to-1. You might even need things that are more like 2-to-1 in terms of grams. That's the way I like to look at it. Some people look at calories, and I think the calories are like 4-to-1. Fat to protein. Another low protein diet, by the way, a keto diet. But I never followed it that way because I wanted to eat more food. I wanted to eat more meat. And when I was eating more meat, that was probably something that was tampering with my insulin resistance. And then only later on did I learn to lower the fats, and lowering the fats got me leaner, but it pigeonholed me into a bullshit diet that just kind of sucks because all you're basically eating is like protein. And that was still like low to modest amounts of carbohydrates. And that was it's a shit diet. That you're not going to have, and this diet can help eliminate stims. It can help eliminate kratom and caffeine and nicotine and whatever else people are grabbing for just to try to have a good workout. When you have a sugar bomb, you don't feel like you need any of those things. So I think it's a revolution. That's why I keep talking about it. The sugar diet, the sugar diet, the sugar diet. Mark Smelly Bell checking out here. Strength is never weakness. Weakness is never strength. Catch you guys later. Bye. Whoosh.